Okay, this is whatever the base prerequisite I told you. Maximum already I'm KVL, KCL, nodal, and current division, voltage division done. Last one that I'm going to discuss, that is the Thevenin theorem. Can you tell me what is the Thevenin theorem? What is the AE? Analog electronics, right? I will discuss, no issue. I will explain you what in further class what I'm going to discuss. I will discuss, right? Just wait. After this, I will discuss. Clear, Chetkar Kumar. I will explain. Chalo, come to here. After Thevenin theorem, I will discuss everything. Clear? Chalo. First of all, tell me what is the Thevenin theorem. What is the Thevenin theorem? What is the meaning of Thevenin theorem? It is used, according to Jay Subhas, it is used to determine the voltage or current crossing any element in complex circuit. Very good. This is a correct way to explain the definition. Anyone other? Can you simplify this definition? Anyone? By the use, according to Jay Subhas, by the use of VTH and RTH. Exactly. So let me explain in simple word what is the Thevenin theorem. Suppose this is my there is any complex circuit like that. This is a huge circuit like that. According to Sri Harsa, any complex circuit can be represented as a simple. Very good. This is the exact definition. Any complex circuit can be represented as a simple series circuit with the load. Very good. Ghanshyam, also your explanation is very good. Let me explain. Suppose there is any big network, complex network, and load is connected here. There is one load is connected at this point RL, and the current through the load is IL. This is a circuit, and the load is connected here. Now I want to reduce this circuit because the analysis of this circuit is very difficult. Analysis of this type of circuit is very difficult. So I want to reduce the size of I want to reduce the complexity. So how to reduce the complexity? By using the Thevenin theorem, you can reduce this circuit in simple form in series connection of the voltage and resistance. How to find the voltage and resistance? I am going to find what is the equivalent voltage across this and what is the equivalent resistance across it, right? So first of all, I am going to find what is the VTH, Thevenin equivalent voltage of the resistance. How to find this voltage? To find the Thevenin equivalent voltage, just open the load. क्या करना होता है? What you have to do? Step 1. What is the step? First is just open the load. Open the load and find V equivalent across the load. What is the step 2? V equivalent must be equal to the VTH. This is the basic rule to find the VTH. What is the VTH? Open the load and find the equivalent voltage across the load. Whatever the voltage come across the load, it will be equal to the VTH of the given circuit. It will be equal to the VTH of the given circuit. Clear, guys? Okay. This is all about the VTH. Now I am going to find how to find the RTH of the given circuit. Shall I erase it? Done? Shall I erase it? Okay, guys, just tell me what is the procedure to find the RTH? What is the procedure to find the RTH? What should be the step 1? Step 1 is same. Open the load and find any other step. In step 1, any other. First of all, I have to open the load, and what you have to do? DC voltage source, short circuit DC voltage source. Jay Subhas, very good. Short circuit DC. Short circuit, yeah. In short circuit, independent voltage source. Open circuit, independent current source. Okay. Any other step? What about the dependent source? They ask about, Sumit Mehanti asked about what we have to do about the dependent source. We have to just we have to don't touch the dependent source, leave as it is. Dependent source, leave as it is. Don't try to touch the dependent source, leave as it is. And according to Jesopaz, apply the test source method and for the dependent source short circuit. Exactly. Now, what is the next step? Step 2. Connect a voltage source, test voltage source across the load. Connect a test voltage source, let it be Vx. Connect a test voltage source Vx across the load and flow current Ix through it. It means what I am going to say, just connect one voltage source here Vx plus minus Vx, and through this voltage source flow the current Ix. Through this voltage source flow the current Ix. Now what is the step third? The RTH must be equal to Vx by Ix. This is the 3 step to find the equivalent resistance and equivalent voltage. You have to follow this resistance. If there is according to Sri Harskurti, if there is dependent source, use test source method to find R equivalent. Exactly, whatever the Sri Harsa told, this is exactly very good. If there is dependent source, if there is any dependent source in the circuit, then we go for the test source method. If there is no dependent source, we directly find out the R equivalent and the V equivalent. Sir, according to Sri Hari, sir, can you repeat dependent source alone? Dependent source alone. Exactly. If there is, if in the circuit there is any dependent source, so we don't have to touch dependent source. Leave as it is. Don't touch. Clear? Don't touch dependent source. Leave as it is. We have to short circuit only the independent voltage source, open circuit independent current source, and dependent source leave as it is. And one more point is open the load. This is the basic 4 step we have to do. Open the load, short circuit independent voltage source, open circuit independent current source, and the dependent source leave as it is. And in next step, just connect a test voltage source across the load and flow the current Is through the load. And what is the next step? Find the value of Vx by Ix. This is the value equivalent to the RTH. In detail, we'll discuss when we go for the small signal modeling of the BJT. When we discuss the small signal modeling of the BJT, where we discuss the this method and find the VTH, RTH to find the equivalent circuit. We have to find the R output, R input, right? Clear, all of you guys? All of you guys understood? One request, all of you guys, just try to practice network theorem based upon the topic KVL, KCL, Thevenin theorem, and some transient. The transient will be used when we go for the discuss some problem in BJT and some maximum problem in the op-amp analysis, where we require the transient analysis. So from day to day, just try to just practice half an hour transient analysis. It will be very helpful for you. Okay, I'm going to erase this one. And after making this VTH and RTH, what will the circuit look like? The circuit will be look like, I'm going to draw here, just erase it and draw. I'm going to draw the circuit here. This is the VTH, it will be look like VTH, RTH, and this is my load, where you find all these parameter IL. This is the load current IL. So guys, you can see that whatever the complex circuit is there, I can convert this complex circuit into the normal series circuit. You can easily solve the circuit and find the load current, load power, and you can also find the what is the power loss in the load. Everything you can find. This is very important, guys, because without basics, it's very difficult for you and also for me to teach you, right? That's why I'm going to discuss. Okay, done. Up to here, I'm just discuss the basics of whatever required in analog electronics, whatever required in future classes that I'm discuss. Now come to I'm going to discuss about the diode. So before discussing any topic, I'm just giving what is the basics construction of the device. First, I'm look what is the construction of the device. Then I'm go for the application of the device and how device will work. Right. Let's start from sir. It is possible to score 90 to 95 in analog. 90 to 95 definitely. It's a very. I told you in analog electronics, it's a very easy subject. If your network concept, whatever I told you, if this basic concept is clear, you can definitely attempt every question and you can solve every one, right? Clear? Okay, first of all, I'm explaining you what is the syllabus, what I will discuss in further class. Let me explain you. So, whatever I mean syllabus. First of all, I'm going to discuss diode and its application. Diode and its application. In diode and application, we will discuss about what is the semiconductor, what is the PN junction diode, and what is the forward bias, forward condition, what is the reverse conduction. Then we discuss about the VI characteristics, right? We will discuss about the basic of the diode. Then we go for the application of the diode. In application of the diode, we discuss about the rectifier, Zener diode, filter. Then we go for the clipper and clamper. This is the things I will discuss in the diode and its application, right? Now we go for the second chapter. This is my first chapter. Second chapter I will discuss, that is the BJT, bipolar junction transistor. By BJT we discuss about the construction. Then we discuss about the characteristics. Then we discuss about what is the DC analysis of the device. Then we discuss about what is the AC analysis of the device. In AC analysis, we discuss about the hybrid model, RE model, RPi model. Whatever the model will be coming in exam, I will discuss everything. Clear? Then after that, we will discuss about what is the response, what is the frequency response of the BJT. This is a topic I will discuss in the BJT. Next topic will be MOSFET. Guys, I told you the MOSFET is the most topic for gate point of view. Last year, approximately 6 marks question come only from the MOSFET topic, right? This is very important for you. Today I will discuss only few few things like what is the semiconductor and how to design the PN junction diode. Okay. Pawani is exactly in DC analysis. DC analysis means the biasing of the diode. Clear? Pawani, according to you, what is the BJT biasing of the diode? BJT. DC analysis means biasing of the BJT. Clear? Okay. Now come to the point. Whatever I discuss in the BJT BJT, same thing I will discuss in the MOSFET. Construction, again biasing means DC analysis. Then we go for the AC analysis. Then we discuss about what is the frequency response of the MOSFET. This thing I will discuss in the MOSFET. Right? In between there is a few more topics like what is the early effect, what is the thermal effect. I will discuss in BJT also. Now, what is the next? After this, I am going to discuss first diode, BJT, MOSFET. Then I am going to discuss what is the current mirror. What is the current mirror concept? Current mirror concept. This is also one more topic. Is very important. Last year, last 2 years, the back-to-back question, 2 marks question come from this topic. Current mirror concept. It's also very easy topic. If you know the basic concept, you can solve this question also. Right? There will be some small trick. If you know the trick, you can solve it. Now, after that, we are going to discuss about what is the feedback. What is the feedback amplifier? Generally, 1 marks question come from this topic, and the question is very easy. Here is also some trick. You have to know the trick, then you can solve the question within a second. Clear? Now, the next topic, that 6 is, I am going to discuss, that is the operational amplifier op-amp. Here we discuss about the application of positive feedback application of op-amp, negative feedback application of op-amp. In negative feedback, we will discuss about the inverting amplifier, non-inverting amplifier. इसमें हम लोग precision rectifier, precision diode, integrator, differentiator, filter, or instrumentation amplifier. There is approximately 10 or 15 to 20 application I will discuss in the negative feedback of the op-amp. Then we go for the positive feedback application of the op-amp. In positive feedback application, we discuss the what is the Smith trigger. Then we go for the oscillator. In oscillator, we discuss the different type of oscillator like Hartley oscillator, Colpit oscillator, Clap oscillator, and RC oscillator, Weinbridge oscillator. This type of oscillator I will discuss in the op-amp, right? And the one more type of the oscillator, that is the multi-vibrator and IC 555 timer. These two topics I will discuss in the op-amp. This is the complete syllabus in the whatever I discuss in the further class I will discuss. Clear, guys? All of you understood? Okay, done. Let us start from the basic concept. What is the semiconductor? We start from the semiconductor. If you any query, just ask me right now. Guys, if you any query regarding syllabus, just you can ask me right now. Guys, my guarantee you will be expert in the analog electronics. Just follow the class and go through the class and revise the notes and practice some numerical. Definitely, analog will be going to be very easy for you. Clear? Let us start from the semiconductor. Okay, can you tell me what is the semiconductor, guys? Any idea what is the semiconductor? Mixture of conductor. Mixture of conductor, and it's not mixture of the conductor. Conduct only when electron move from a valence band to conduction band. Jeffs was according to and no conductivity between conductivity between the lie between the conductor and insulator. A true conductivity lie exactly, very good. Shivani, conductivity is between exactly the definition is of the semiconductor is that the conductivity of the semiconductor will be greater than conductivity of insulator and will be less than the conductivity of conductor. Exactly. This is the basic definition of the semiconductor, is that the conductivity of the semiconductor lies between the conductivity of the insulator and conductivity of the conductor. According to Bhanu Prakash, loss tangent is nearly equal to 1. Loss tangent is nearly equal to 1. Exactly, very good. Good point. Now, come to the next point. The property of the semiconductor material is that it has a valence electron. How much valence electron? It has a 4 valence electron. It has 4 valence electron. What is the meaning of valence electron? The meaning of valence electron, in outermost shell of the atom has 4 electron. In outermost shell, it has 4 valence electron. Right? Can you just give me any name, example of the semiconductor material? Exactly, very good. Silicon and germanium. Silicon and germanium, these are the semiconductor material which has 4 valence electron, right? Let me explain how. That I am going to take the silicon crystal. It will be like that: silicon, 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 right? And it has a 4 valence electron like that. So you can see in silicon crystal, this is I'm just taking one small silicon crystal, and the atom will be arranged like that, and in which there will be bonding will be like that. There will be one silicon atom will be arranged. I'm just taking a small part of this. This is the structure silicon crystal. This is the structure of the silicon. Guys, just take gallium arsenide. This is one more the example. And this is the conductivity is very high. Gallium arsenide is conductivity of this material is very high, right? So come to here. So this is a silicon crystal. Guys, you can see it has a 4 valence electron, and these valence electron are perfectly covalent bonding with the neighbor atom. You can, if you look at this atom, this electron bonded covalent bonding with this atom. This electron bonding with this atom, this electron with this atom, this electron with this atom. It means every 4 electrons are in perfectly covalent bonding with the neighbor atom. It means there is no free electron. There is no free electron. If there is no free electron, what is the conductivity of this material? What is the conductivity of this material? Just tell me. At 0 Kelvin, these electrons make the perfectly covalent bonding with the neighbor atom. It means there is no free electron. If there is no free electron, what is the conductivity? Conductivity will become equal to the 0. So we can say that at 0 Kelvin bonding, there is a perfect covalent bonding with the neighbor atom. It means there is no free electron. So the conductivity of the material will be 0. But what will be happen if you increase the temperature? If you increase the temperature, what will be happen? Because of the thermal energy, this electron getting the heat. Because of the heat, this electron getting the thermal energy. Because of this thermal energy, electrons start vibrating their place. These electrons are start vibrating and their place, and they start break this bond. All of you getting my point? As we increase the temperature, at temperature greater than 0 Kelvin. If you increase the temperature, these electrons getting the thermal energy. After getting the thermal energy, these electrons are start vibrating their place, and at a particular value of temperature, these electrons break this bond. These electrons break this bond. Understood? Because of if these electrons break the bond, what will happen? Suppose this electron break the bond. What will happen? 2 electron and 2 hole will be created. 2 electron and 2 hole will be generated. 2 electron and 2 hole will be generated, and the concentration of electron and concentration of hole will be increased. So now we can say, because of the increase of temperature, these electrons get break and the free charge will increase in the system. Amount of the free charge will be increased in the system. If the amount of free charge will increase in the system, what about the conductivity? Conductivity will start increasing. Conductivity will start increasing. It means if you increase the temperature, then conductivity also increase in parallelly. Are you getting my point? If you increase the temperature, these electrons get energy, they break the bond. If the bond will break, then free atom will increase in the system. If the number of free electron will increase, then the conductivity of the system will be increased. Clear? So guys, can you just tell me, to increase the conductivity, can we increase the temperature? Guys, just tell me, to increase the conductivity, can we increase the temperature? Exactly, no. To increase the conductivity, we cannot increase the temperature up to a below certain limit. To increase the conductivity, we cannot increase the temperature up to beyond a certain limit. If you increase the temperature beyond very high, then all the bond will be breakdown and device will be goes into the breakdown reserve. If you increase the temperature beyond a certain limit, all the bond will be break and the device goes into the breakdown reserve. That's why we cannot increase the temperature beyond a certain limit to increase the conductivity. Now what we have to do? Can you tell me then how to increase the conductivity? Exactly, very good guys. Actually, we cannot increase the temperature beyond a certain limit to increase the temperature. So we use the another technique that is known as the doping concept. By using the doping concept, we can increase the conductivity of the material without increasing the temperature beyond a certain limit. Clear? Now, this what is the doping? What is the doping? What is the doping, guys? Doping means the adding of impurity. Exactly, very good. So now, to increase the conductivity, now I am going to insert some impurity atom inside this pure semiconductor. This pure semiconductor is known as the intrinsic semiconductor. This pure semiconductor is known as the intrinsic semiconductor, right? So to increase the conductivity, I am going to use I'm going to add some impurity inside this pure semiconductor. After adding the impurity, this pure semiconductor become the extrinsic semiconductor. Clear? Now, so to increase the conductivity, I have to use the doping concept. Based upon the type of impurity, there are two type of based upon the type of impurity adding, there are two type of the extrinsic semiconductor. One is p-type semiconductor and second one is the n-type semiconductor. If you add the trivalent impurity, then the material become as the p-type semiconductor. If you add the pentavalent impurity, like phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. If you add pentavalent impurity, then the material become as a N-type semiconductor. In detail, I will discuss tomorrow. Up to in this class, we will, I'm wind up here. Rest of all, I will discuss in the next class. If you have any doubt, you can ask me right now. If you have any doubt, you can ask me right now. And detail I will discuss in about this type of semiconductor and PN junction diode. I will discuss tomorrow.